We've lived through an era where there was simply a pursuit for more. And suddenly people are starting to recognize how much of a disservice this pursuit for more is causing them overall. And people are now going back to the subtleties of living a minimalistic lifestyle. And we're going to be exploring some of the benefits and some of the values of that here, and also some of the ways in which you are able to implement that in your own living. Welcome back to Ira Living Finance. On this episode, we're going to be talking in depth about minimalistic lifestyle and how you're able to implement a few simple and subtle changes that you are then going to be able to start to experience a minimalistic lifestyle for yourself and be able to improve that in the way that you see necessary. Firstly, what's a minimalistic lifestyle? So a minimalistic lifestyle is where you intentionally live with fewer possessions. You're focusing on those things that are truly matters to you, whilst you're finding fulfillment in simplicity rather than in materialism. Minimalism gives you the room to declutter, to create simplified routines, and prioritizing relationships and experiences. Minimalism helps you to reduce stress. It increases your freedom level. It enhances your focus. It gives you time for greater appreciation, and it provides quality time in your structure for you to be able to enjoy some of the things and people that you actually want to enjoy, whilst at the same time help you to improve your financial and your overall health. So why shouldn't we all want to aspire to a minimalism type of lifestyle in a way that it is going to add value to how we currently experience the world around us? The insights that we're going to be sharing with you here on pursuing a minimalism lifestyle is going to be split up into 4 different categories, each of which are going to be explaining some of the things that you could incorporate into your lifestyle to make the change and the transition into a more minimalistic way of living. So let's start off firstly with number 1, and that's spending your time wisely. Now, some of the ways in which you can spend your time wisely that will not cost you significantly is to make the choice to eat out on special occasions, for example. Why you're doing this is because you're giving yourself an opportunity to indulge at specific points in the year, which means that it no longer seems like a routine and a chore. It splits it up to make it a difference, and therefore a much more valuable opportunity and experience, because you're giving yourself the chance to indulge in a way that is going to feel much more rewarding and that you are going to be much more able to appreciate. The other way in which you can spend your time wisely is to find activities that's rewarding for you and your family, and then make those activities something that you pursue over your short-term or long-term period. So you could say, for example, over the next 6 months, we're going to do these activities, and you create the opportunity to do that without being stressful or onerous. These don't have to be things that you're going to be paying a lot of money for, because what you're trying to curate here is the experience that you want to be able to spend with family. So one of the other things that you could do, for example, is to organize a quarterly event that will be valuable for you as well as for your well-being. So it could be that you decide that you're going to treat yourself to a spa and you want to have that experience. However, this is something that you can bring to your own home and provide that same experience in the comfort of your home. It might also be that you're in a position where you can afford to pay for this, and then you go off and do that. It might be that you want to have an opportunity where you can have a gathering with your friends, and so different individuals can bring along something that is of importance to them and to their taste buds, to take that along to a banquet that you might want to keep, or a garden party, or a cocktail event in the afternoon that you want to host, just so that you can get the opportunity to spend time with these individuals that are important in your life, but that you don't really get as much time to spend with. And this way you start to create this way of experiencing life to its fullest and appreciating the values of the relationship that you have, without constantly feeling as though you're extremely busy and unable to fit these important milestones or significant interest in your life. One of the other things we want to look at is number 2, and this is how to use your money effectively. Now, one of the ways in which you can use your money more effectively is that you are able to Focus on how you're going to be saving and investing. That's paramount and important, because you want to know that as inflation is having its way, that your money is also growing so that it is matching inflation, and therefore you will have more opportunities to enjoy it further on into the future. What you also want to be looking at is considering ways in which you can downsize where possible, because what this will do is it will reduce the irrelevant expenditures that you are currently facing, and therefore be able to be a little bit more stress-free, or reducing your stress in terms of the financial demands that you have on yourself. Another way in which you could achieve this is to shop from a low-cost grocer, for example, where you know that what you're getting is good quality, but it is not going to cost you a premium just to be able to have those quality produce to add to your food that you're going to be making. Another option is to explore ways in which you could buy secondhand or buy in a sale, or consider if you can reuse things before you then decide that you want to refuse them. The other way that you could look at doing this also is to monitor and reduce your utility costs, so that you're able to be a little bit more conservative, to do your part to help with environmental protection, but also to be able to help with your bank balance and your finances in the same breath. The third thing we want to look at with part of the minimalistic approach to living is to think about how you're going to make sure that you're eating healthier. So it's looking at how we can do this. So one of the ways in which you can do that is to figuring out clearly a food or a meal plan that you want to have for your family, whether over a week, over 2 weeks, or over a month. And then what you want to do is to look at how you can shop bi-weekly or monthly, or considering ways in which you can shop in bulk or shop for offers that are available. Because in each of these scenarios, you are able to cut back your spending cost significantly, because then you're going to be buying things that are actually relevant and necessary. There is a certain value that comes with buying things that you need rather than stocking up on things that are unnecessary. When you have a list and you have a clear plan and structure for the things you need, whether that's with the clothing that you're going to be wearing, the need that you have in terms of food and decor for your home, and also for the needs of your family, it helps you to focus on buying what you need rather than just buying things simply because they look cute or because you want to have them. Another way to help you with eating healthily is to have a design monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly meal plan to suit your needs, and then tailor your shopping list in accordance. This also helps you to minimize waste and help you to manage your spending. So these are some ideas that you could implement. One of the other things I want to suggest in this section is to use a filter replacement system for buying. So this can be extended beyond food and also into clothing and other accessories that you have, because if you have a filtering system, it means that unless things are filtered out, then things will not be brought in, and so that helps to enhance that attempt of living in a way that is minimalistic. The fourth thing to suggest here is appreciation. It's living in a way that you are grateful and appreciative of your experiences and of the things that you have, and therefore making good use of enjoying them. Some of the things I would want to suggest in this area are finding things that you value and that you can be more involved in. So find things in your community that you value and want to be more involved in, and take the initiative to get involved in those areas, because some of these might be things that you aspire to do and you have the opportunity now to drive that home. It might also be worth considering some of the causes you want to support, so that you can schedule those out so as not to over exhaust yourself with that process. It is important too that you're transforming the overall look and appearance of your lifestyle, not to please people on the outside, but to make sure that you're satisfying yourself in knowing that you are creating a more minimalistic lifestyle for yourself, one in which you are able to showcase more gratitude and enjoying those little things that you actually want to spend the time to enjoy, but so far was unable to do so. With this new way of living, you are able to increase your level of freedom to be able to access and enjoy these endeavors that you have long wanted to enjoy. Minimalism is a significant way of life that brings us back to the former years where people were able to enjoy the things that they actually acquire and enjoy life in and of itself. And it's important that we're taking ourselves back to that way of living where we are not rushing and constantly running over ourselves to acquire and accrue things that are not really adding significant values to us, but rather that we're focusing on those things that are significant to us. They are important, they add value, they elongate our life, and therefore they're things that we should want to pursue without feeling guilty in doing so. Minimalism doesn't mean that you're denying yourself of lots of things. It means that you're intentional about the things that you're incorporating in your life so that you have the ability to enjoy a wider range of things that you actually want to enjoy. Remember, financial literacy is revolutionary. It has transformed my life, and I believe it can do the same to yours.